Alright, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make my Icelandic Vinarterta, or however the hell you say it. So, first things first, start off by getting some Celtic Christmas music to get you in the mood. Doesn't matter which one, but it's mandatory. So, first things first, we're going to start with making the filling, which is primarily consisted of prunes. Now, I already have one bag of prunes in there, but I'm adding a second because it wasn't enough. This is a large bag of pitted prunes. Brand doesn't matter, they're all the same, it's going to end up the same. You just want to basically put them in a pot, shake them up real good, like so, then just add a little bit of water, just to cover it. Not to submerge it, just to cover it. Alright, you're going to want to set your element to a lower temperature, preferably around 3, and put the lid on and just forget it. Alright, now we're going to start with the batter. This consists of 4 cups of flour. Does not matter what kind, as long as it's 4 cups. Alright, next you're going to want to add your baking powder. Now you want only 3 teaspoons. So 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to want to add 2 cups of sugar. So 1 cup, 2 cup. Alright, now you're going to want to add your butter. I've let mine soften overnight. And you're going to need 3/4 cups. So basically, 3/4 of the brick. Yeah, I probably should remove the foil, but it's going to get mixed up anyway. So we have it here. We're going to put it in our mixing bowl, and I'm actually going to whip it with a spoon before I do anything else. And after some whipping, this is essentially how it should look. Whipped. And now you're going to want to add 4 eggs. And you want to add them one at a time. Get them in a little container, bowl, whatever, and mix them. So now we're going to add the dry mix, so the flour, sugar, and baking powder, to our butter. Take a quick look at the prune mixture, give it a little bit of a mix. You deserve it. Now back to the batter. You're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, as well as a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. This will make it taste awesome. Then you want to add your cardamom. I don't really measure, I just go to taste. I forgot to record it, but you also add 1 tablespoon of cold water. Now for mixing, you get your hands in there and you get dirty. It's the best way to do it. Then you're just going to want to dump it all on the counter. Clean counter, of course, and some flour so nothing sticks. And just give it a good spank. Spank that dough. Spank it good. Right now you're going to want to get your rolling pin and get some dough flattened out and grab a cookie cutter. I just used my measuring cup because the handle broke off and it's the perfect size. And you want to get a spatula, very carefully take it off the counter and put it on a ungreased cookie sheet and repeat that 7 more times until you have 8 of them. Now they're ready to go into the oven, and I set it for 360 degrees for 6 minutes. Set a timer. You do not want to overcook them. After 6 minutes, take them out and place them somewhere where they can cool off. I just put mine by my window because in the cold winter they cool off nice and quick. So while the other ones are cooling, I'm going to take another ready batch that I made while they were baking, place them in the oven for 6 minutes, and then while those ones are baking, I'm going to carefully remove these ones from the cookie sheet once they've cooled a bit onto a clean towel. And as you can see here, they're only very lightly baked. You do not want to overcook them. You only want them just slightly browned like so. You're going to want to repeat this process until you've used up all your dough, and your table should look like this. A gazillion of them. Next up, I stacked them all 4 tiers high because this is a preview of how they will look when they're done. Looks good to me. Now we're going to go back to the prunes. They should be nice and steaming by now and pretty much easily falling apart with your fork. You can also see that they're slightly caramelized. This is for what you want. Now we just mix them up and kind of break them apart. I have a spork but a fork will work just fine. Just get them all nice and broken up because we're going to get ready to blend them to make the filling. Alright, I got some ready in my cup for blending. I add a little bit of water just to kind of help loosen it up and make it easier on the blender. I just have the magic bullet, it's all I got, but it works just fine. You do not want to do too much at a time, but just keep mixing it till it looks like the consistency of poo-poo. Alright, now I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar and just a pinch of salt because, come on, we're all a little salty these days. Now we're going to add a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now we're going to add some cloves. Now you don't want to add too much, you just kind of want to add a little bit and just mix to taste. Do not add too much, it will overpower it. So just add little bits at a time. Now you add your cardamom, same thing, just add to flavor, add to taste. Mix it up real good and it starts to look a lot like Matsuma's Revenge after Taco Bell. And now we're ready to fill them. Now take a note, you want to get your ugliest piece as the bottom piece. And you just lightly spread it with a spoon, just like so. Repeat that 2 more times so only 3 layers have filling. And it should look like this. Wrap it up with some saran wrap. Place it down, and now you gotta do that a gazillion more times until they're all done. Now tuck them in and get them ready for bed because they're going to be sleeping for the next 24 to 48 hours. Say goodnight. Alright, now to get the icing ready. We're going to use the remaining butter from earlier, about 1/4 cup. Whip it up nice and good. And then you're going to want to add 2 cups of icing sugar. I don't have a sifter, so I just use a whisk to just kind of, soften it up a bit. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of cream or milk. And you're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 1 tablespoon of almond extract. Now use a spatula and mix it up real nice until it's smooth and whipped like so. Now we're going to start icing the cakes. Get a butter knife, very gently spread it across the top. You don't need a whole lot, and just smooth it out, and that's it. You just do that for the rest of the cakes, and this should be the final result. Then you let them rest in the fridge for at least a day or 2, so they get nice and firm. Cut them up into little bite-sized squares like you would any other dainty, and pop them in your pie hole and enjoy.